Hey guys, so today I want to just address the transport network system. I hit a little bit of a roadblock with it. It's getting a little bit complicated trying to figure out how to deal with the mesh components. And yeah, so I was trying to make it so we provide a half mesh and then we mirror that mesh, and yeah, it just hasn't been really working out so far. So what I want to do for now is just strip it back a little bit and just focus on the actual spline generation and just creating the underlying spline network. And what I'd like to try and achieve today is have a debug visualization of spline network for each of the different network types, so a different color for each one. So visualization for pathways, one for roads, one for railways, and one for the taxiways. And that's what I'd kind of like to do today. So I have backed up the project. I'm going to be deleting quite a bit of stuff, just removing some stuff, just show you what it's currently doing. So from the top, we take a look at the transport network manager. So this target info is passed into it from the actual build ability. So it requests the transport network manager to create a new segment, and it passes in the data asset. So the build ability has like a selected data asset, which is what the player selected. And at the moment, the network manager switches on the network type. Then the actual network segment actor. No, the actual network actor, which is in here. So it's these sub ones. At the moment, they all are inherited from transport network item. Yeah. So in the network manager, we have these spawned. So there's a network actor for each of the different networks, and we call the create network segment on the relevant actor, depending on what the network type is selected in the data asset. What then happens is from the target info, we have the control points, which is the place the player clicked. We're currently making a temporary spline, and which is here. So we're creating a Bezier spline based on those points that the players clicked on. Then we're creating a network segment, and then on that network segment we are calling initialize segment, and we're passing in the spline component that was just generated and the data asset associated with it. Then the actual segment itself has so inside the initialize segment, so it takes in that spline and the data asset, and pretty much what it's doing at the moment is it's creating mesh components for a certain length across that spline. So it's taking that input spline and creating a spline mesh components along it. So that's actually kind of what we're going to ditch. So we're going to remove that. We're going to keep, so the spline, so down here we destroy it because we take the spline, we create the spline mesh components, and then we're done with the spline and ditch it. but now we actually want to keep it, so we're not going to destroy it anymore. However, the ownership will change. So although it's being created here, really it's the segment that's going to be owning that spline. So it might change that a little bit as well. Cool. So I'll start by, so let's start by removing this because we want to keep that spline being persistent. And I would also like to ensure that debug is set to true. So we go here. Visual debug equals true. Okay. And what we might actually do is because I don't think we need to have all of this. So we can probably actually get the segment to make the spline. So instead of making it here, we'll put it into the initialize segment. So we'll change this instead. Okay, so we're gonna, I'll just comment this out for now. Get rid of that. And potentially get rid of this. So creating the network segment, creating a new child actor component for that segment, so that's fine. Static class, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so then we want to update this initialize segment. Okay, let's comment that out and actually just ditch all of this. Just completely all of this. Get rid of that. And while we're at it, this can all be ditched. Okay. Yeah, okay, so what we're going to do is add, so each segment is going to have a constant spline component, so we'll actually add that to the segment. And we can actually get rid of some of this. Okay, and we've got it forward declared here already, so that's fine. Okay, so we've already got the data asset pointer, so we'll keep that because we'll still want that at some point. So spline component segment spline. Yeah, that should be fine. Because the other thing we'll be able to do later is the actual actor that manages the different segments. you'll be able to take multiple ones that kind of join together and then kind of optimize by combining them and creating like a single spline actor in cases where there's like a string of them, which will be kind of the next step. Okay, so we want we still want to give it the data asset. Instead though, we are going to give it the target info, which means we need to include this. So where is this? Buildability target info. Going to be buildability in here. Okay, so we're going to need to put this in our custom includes. Is that right? Transport network segment. No, we need to come out. So out to build items, out of build items, and then we should be able to go into abilities, building, buildability target info. Okay. So we want to pass this in. Okay. And debug reference. Just a temporary. Then we can just do a test call to that method. Down here, so temp network segment, initialize segment, transport network data asset, and target info. So that should give us, so the network segment should be created, and we should be passing it the data asset and the target info. And we should be able to test that already. We take a look at the output log. Yeah, and if we look at the log there, cool. Okay, so we're calling that method. That's fine. So now what we want to do is, instead of creating the spline here, we can have the actual network segment create the spline itself. So let's do, just put this to the side for a second. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so let me get the network segment. temporary code. I can get to it. And we'll make the actual method. Okay. And tell you what, let's just sort it, delete all this. Don't need this anymore. Alrighty. So we need to get our game utilities in. And this is just where we have this create Bezier spline method created. We have so we have our segment spline, which by default is null pointer. So in here, we'll first check to make sure that the asset is legit. And do we actually need that there anymore? No. So we can actually get rid of that. So we actually just need it here. So it's just checking that the passed in data asset is valid. And it will return if it is. Okie dokie. Then yeah, we should just be able to call that method. Yeah, cool. So what's it called? Segment spline. Segment spline equals you call game utilities create Bezier spline. This. And this is these are the 3 points that the player's clicked. Control target info dot end. Okay. And then we'll check that it's valid. Otherwise, draw debug. And that should be pretty much it. So we should be able to just ditch that now. And ditch that. So in the actual network actor, we take in the target info and network data asset. We create a child actor component for that segment, and we create a so we create a child actor of the network segment class. We then actually create that actor segment, and then on the segment we call the initialize segment. Then in the actual segment itself, we check the data asset is valid. We create the Bezier spline based on the 3 points that the players clicked, and we will draw debug draw. The other thing we want to do is store this. So data asset equals in data asset. Right. No. That should be that. Okay, let's see what that does for us. So what we should now see, we should see, so there's the points. But I'm not seeing the debug spline. Okay, let's see what's going on. So neither of these were showing up in the log. Let's just make sure. But the debug might be just editor only. It's kind of a bummer if it is. Okay, so yeah, we are creating the spline segment. And let's just run this in debug mode. Let's just make sure the spline's been created. So we have Target info is coming through correct. That's all good. So we've got our 3 different points there. Then segment spline. Yeah. That seems to be okay. Okay, well, we do seem to be creating that. Let me just check something. Yeah. Apparently not. So it seems that this is only editor only, which is kind of a bummer. So I'll have to try and think of a different way to show the splines. There might be a console command. Spline. Yeah, so let's try that. Because all I really need to see is that the underlying splines are actually being created correctly. I'm not really worried about actual visualization just yet. So, splines being created. Try show flag dot splines. Oh, cool. We have to keep it work. So that's correct. Yeah, that's kind of working. Oh, cool. I think maybe because it's the ground. Huh. Oh, what's going on there? Okay, cool. I think because we're on it's a web service, we're going to use see that a little bit easier. Cool. Just gonna do something quick. Simple road. Okay, cool. So got this back to working. So next steps really are to give us some angle snappings. So if we finished on this one, it should kind of snap to a straight line, like there. So then it's a nice straight curve. And then you're going to have to deal with like overlapping like that. And for example, this is where we would create a junction. And then the other thing we'd want to do is, at the moment, these are multiple different splines. So we'd want those to be connected together. And let's just make sure the pathway, yeah. And then for rail, yeah. And then for taxiway, yeah. Okay, so that's all working fine. Great. So, this, so taking all of that away, done that, no joy there, yeah, all good stuff. Okay, cool. So what I'll do, close that for now. I'll update the data asset. So we'll get rid of that. Segment length. That was to do with the mesh creation, so we'll get rid of that. Let's do that. Then the other thing I'm going to do is get rid of in here. Get rid of these. Cool. Alright, so then get rid of that. Cool. Get rid of those two. So these are the actual network actors. The segment, yeah, so that's all good. Let's just check if there's anything to get rid of in here. that's all good. Okay, cool. So yeah, just a quick short one. So I just wanted to try and get the ball rolling again, because like I say, I hit a bit of a roadblock with this. So just wanted to strip it back, simplify it a little bit, and then can move forward again a little bit with this. So the next steps then will be trying to figure out how to detect overlaps. So when two splines go over the top of each other, we might need to create a junction. We then will want to be able to handle different types of networks overlapping. So like if a path spline meets with a road spline or a railway spline, then we need to deal with that kind of combining splines together. So if we've got like a chain of them, we should convert that into one, and that will also need to detect the junctions, because if you've got a line of them but there's a junction in the middle, we need to keep those separate. So we'll probably need to do the overlap detection first, deal with making junctions, and then optimize the separate segments. The other reason why we'll want to combine the segments to deal with an issue that was quite apparent with the meshes, I'll show you in a sec. It's basically if there were like two splines chained but they weren't actually connected, it would mean they're kind of disjointed. So you've got one there, but then you did like that. So because they're not like in a straight line, when we started creating mesh segments, because they're not actually together, they're not one piece, and those mesh segments were separated. So we'll want to be able to optimize these so that if this isn't a junction with like a third spline like joining it like this, so that would make a junction. But otherwise, if it's just like that, and then that, and then that, we want to detect this and combine it into one spline, just so then it's all nice and joined and it's a bit more efficient as well, because each of these different splines are a segment actor. So we'll combine this to be one actor. So then that will be one actor, this will be one actor, this will be another one. And that will be what we'll go for next time. Cool. So just a short one today. Just wanted, like I say, I just wanted to get the ball rolling. I'll leave it there today. Do a bit of research on the detection, overlapping and stuff, and then go from there. Cool. Cheers.